同学们，大家好，欢迎来学语法，欢迎来学副词。我是向老师。So welcome everyone. Let's get back to our studying of the modal verbs in Mandarin Chinese. This is Dr. Shuhua Shan, and this is part of a grammar series for the Center for Advanced Language Proficiency Education and Research Center at the Cowper at Penn State. So now let's look at this one. Yinggai, yinggai. You may or may not have learned this modal word. It consists of two characters, yin and gai, and it will show you that yin and gai both are shortened form of yinggai as well. Before we look at yinggai as a modal verb, we want to distinguish it from yinggai as part of an adjective. So, for example, if someone thanks you for your help, politely you can say, this is what I should do anyway, this is my obligation. 这是应该的，这是应该的. This is what's supposed to be. 这是应该的，应该的 as an adjective in this case. But we'll be looking at 应该 as a modal verb. To sum up, there are two main types of usages of 应该. First type, obligation, corresponding to English should. So some certain action should happen because this is due to morality and social convention. For example, you should apologize. 你应该道歉. This is particularly true with, usually true with human subject. 你, 我, 他, 大家. Because human has moral obligation and social conventions. 你应该道歉. So you can see this as being shortened to 应, just one word, one character. 你应道歉. 应 is formal. Usually you don't say that in the spoken language. It's usually in writing. On the other hand, 应该 is shortened to 该 as well. 你该道歉. So when you hear people say 你该怎么怎么样, they're talking about 应该. You should. 你该道歉. Type 2 talks about, so if type 1 is about moral obligation, something should happen because this is what's right, what's being conventionalized. We also use 应该 to predict, to make a strong prediction following logical reasoning. So you can see the connection between moral obligation, social convention, should, and logical reasoning, should. You are reaching a conclusion based on all the evidence, this should be the case. Strong prediction. For example, 火车这个时候应该到了. So the train should have arrived at this moment. 火车这个时候应该到了. So often we see the subject in the utterance as a non-human subject. We are predicting about the world around us. 火车应该到了, or human subject. 他应该来了, he should have arrived, based on my reasoning. So now let's see an example from natural occurrences of language. This one is from the very, very funny TV sitcom called My Own Swordsman. I've used this TV show in other places. So in this clip, the accountant in the inn and the helper, the waitstaff in the inn, the girl, are in a field. So they are sort of trying to get in the upper hand of each other. So before we read this transcript, let's watch the clip to get a context.
郭小姐请。
吕先生请。
郭小姐请。
吕先生请。
郭小姐请。
您请。
你请。
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 哎呀，行了行了，你俩上这儿来坐着，一块儿请来，来来来。
吕先生您请，算账特别费脑子，应该好好补。
哟，你也得多补补的，体力活最辛苦了，你多吃点啊。你咋不吃呢？别客气啊。
刚才给我加的是大蒜，
你还给我加生姜呢。
生姜能够去风寒，还能解酒。
大蒜包治百病，还能驱邪呢。
那您先来点葱花润肠。
I'm not sure how much you comprehend, but the context makes it clear that they are in a field. They are trying to verbally getting into each other's upper hand. So this is really funny in a way that there's a lot of cultural issues going on. So they start with 郭小姐请. So you use this 请 to request someone to get into the seat. 郭小姐请 It's a polite way of saying, please now have a seat. And then the miss says, 吕先生请 So you please. And then continues, 郭小姐请吕先生请郭小姐请你请你请你请 And then the friends get to trying to make amends. 哎呀，行了行了 That's all right. Stop that. 你俩 The two of you 你俩上这儿来坐着 Come over here. 一块儿请 Together you please. 来 Come. And then the girl says, 吕先生你请 So the girl, following Chinese tradition, you will see Chinese people like to give each other part of the dishes to share. Please, for example, if you're eating chicken, the host may give you a chicken drumstick, put it on top of your rice to show hospitality. So 郭小姐 says, 吕先生你请 She gives him something over on his rice. 算账特别费脑子。算账 because 吕先生 Mr. Li is the accountant in the inn. He does the accounting. 算账 is accounting in an informal register. 算账特别费脑子，特别 very, especially 费 literally 费 means wasting 脑子 brain. So doing accounting is very much hurting your brain. It's a straining kind of work. 应该 so here is where 应该 comes in. 应该 should. You should. 好好补补。好好 intensifying well. 补补 补 means to use food to supplement your health, to strengthen, to boost your health. You know, Chinese people like to do medicinal diet. You get healthier by eating well. So she says, 吕先生你请，算账特别费脑子，应该好好补补。应该 because you are working so hard, you should use food to supplement, strengthen yourself. And 吕先生 comes, Mr. Li comes back in a smart way. So he says, 你也得多补补了。得 You should also do supplements. You should also eat well. 体力活 体力活 is the opposite of brain work. It's body work, meaning that you are doing laboring, because she is the wait staff in the restaurant plus inn. So 体力活最辛苦了 It's really hard working, very tiring. 最辛苦了你多吃点儿 Eat a lot, please. 你咋不吃呢 So he's being sarcastic. Why don't you eat? 别客气啊 Don't be a stranger. So they both of them are using polite languages, which in a normal context would be just as appropriate, but they are using it with a sarcastic overtone. And then Miss Guo says, 您刚才给我加的加 means using chopstick to hold it 是大蒜 So what you just gave me for me to eat to supplement my health is garlic. And Mr. Liu comes back. 你还给我加生姜呢. What you gave me was in fact ginger. So they're both trying to get into each other's zone. And then Guo says, 生姜能够去风寒. So ginger can, 能够 is the more formal way of 能 and 能够 are very much the same. 能够生姜能够去风寒, 去 make something go away. 风寒 风 wind, 寒 cold. So 生姜 ginger can rid you of coldness. If you are sick with cold or if you catch a cold, eat some ginger. Ginger 可以能去风寒，还能解酒. Also, it has the capacity of 解酒. 解酒 means to make you feel better after nights of drinking. If you drank too much, 解酒, you need something to make the alcohol go away. 解酒. And Liu says, 大蒜 garlic, 大蒜包治百病. 包治百病. It helps to cure hundreds of illnesses. This is expression. It's very good. 还能 it also can 驱邪呢 驱邪 to rid someone of devils, to evil spirits. So this scenario gives you a lot of polite expressions. If you say it in a sincere way, it's just very appropriate. For example, 请,你请,您先请, or 好好补补, to eat well, or 行了行了,你们来这儿坐, 别客气别客气. However, because this is a humorous sketch, you can see how the language is used to convey the idea of sarcasm. So let's watch it one more time. Maybe you would see a lot more than the first time.
郭小姐请。
吕先生请。
郭小姐请。
吕先生请。
郭小姐请。
您请。
你请。
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 哎呀，行了行了，你俩上这儿来坐着，一块儿请来，来来来。
吕先生您请。散账特别费脑子，应该好好补。
哟，你也得多补补的，体力活最辛苦了，你多吃点啊。你咋不吃呢？别客气啊。
刚才给我加的是大蒜，
你还给我加生姜呢。
生姜能够去风寒，还能解酒。
大蒜包治百病，还能驱邪呢。
那您先来点葱花润肠。
Okay, so in terms of modal verbs, 应该 gives you the idea that something should be done because it's just how conventionally it's understood, the connection. 得 you have to, it's obligation. 能够 capacity. So I want to show you another clip from the same TV show where 应该 is negated, 不应该. So 应该 is should, 不应该 is shouldn't. The correlation is pretty clear cut. So here the little girl in this restaurant /inn has done something wrong, and she first didn't realize it, and then after running away from home, and she spent a very hard day. At nighttime, she started to understand that she had made the wrong, and she came to apologize to all the people that are good to her and close to her. So she says, so let's watch it before we look at the transcript.
我错了，是罚少了。那块牌子呢？小贝，你咋了？嫂子？啊！我终于回家了，嫂子！我饿了。
你饿了？那我给你做碗吃的去啊。
等。
咋的了？
姑的奶奶，对不起，我不应该说你瞎许诺。
没事，我脸皮厚，你咋说我都行。那啥，我给你咕嘟碗鸡汤去啊！
快点啊！
还有小郭姐姐，姑的奶奶，对不起，我不应该说你欺凌弱小。
哎呀，没事的，小贝，你随便说啊，姐姐已经退出江湖了。我去帮大嘴。
还有白大哥，姑的奶奶，对不起，我不应该说你跟谁都假熟。
没事，你好好努力，等你有出息了，白大哥跟别人说，咱俩真熟啊。
还有吕先生，姑的奶奶，对不起，我不应该说你考不上功名。
事实嘛啊。
Okay, so because this TV show is set in ancient Chinese time in a martial arts genre, so there's some vocabulary that's particular to the genre, but because martial arts genre is so common in everyday language as well, it will be interesting to know what they are. So first, Xiaobei says, 大嘴叔叔, 大嘴叔叔. So Uncle Big Mouth, that's the cook. He has a big mouth, so his nickname is 大嘴叔叔. 你等等, wait. Good night, 对不起, good night, I'm sorry. 我不应该, I shouldn't have said. 我不应该说你瞎许诺. 瞎许诺, so the cook has this particular weakness. He likes to boast of himself. He liked to promise things to people while he didn't mean it. So 瞎许诺 means blindly promise people. We actually don't mean it. 瞎许诺. And then cook says, 没事儿, it's okay. 我脸皮厚. 脸皮厚 means I have a thick skin. I don't easily get embarrassed. 没事儿, 我脸皮厚. 你咋说? 咋说? 咋 is a colloquial form for 怎么, however, whatever you say. 你咋说我都行. Whatever you say, I'm fine. 那啥? This is a colloquial way of saying, oh, let me, I just forgot, I almost forgot. 那啥? 我给你弄碗鸡汤去啊. Let me go get a bowl of chicken broth for you. 我给你弄碗鸡汤去啊. 弄, to make something, to make something happen. 碗, a measure word, a bowl of 鸡汤, chicken broth. 我给你弄碗鸡汤去啊. And the little girl continues to apologize to 小郭, Miss 郭, 还有小郭姐姐 Sister 郭. Good night, 对不起. 我不应该, I shouldn't, 我不应该说你欺凌弱小. This is also a 4-character expression, fixed expression. It means 欺 means to bully, 欺凌 means to bully, 弱 weak, 小 little. So she used to say 小郭 likes to only bully the weak ones. And little 郭 says, 哎呀，没事儿的小贝, it's all right, 没事儿的小贝，小贝，你随便说啊。Just say whatever you want to say. Don't worry. 你随便说啊。姐姐 me, sister. 姐姐 she's referring to herself. 已经 already 退出江湖了。江湖 it's a martial arts world. I've already exited the martial arts world. I'm no longer part of that. And then she says, 我去帮大嘴啊. Let me go help the cook. Big mouth. 我去帮大嘴啊. And Xiaobei continues to apologize to the handsome guy, 白大哥, Mr. Bai. 还有白大哥, good night, 对不起. 我不应该说你跟谁都假熟. 你跟谁, you, to anyone, whoever, 都 all 假 fake, so close. So I shouldn't have said that you pretended to be friends with everyone. So Bai answers, 没事儿, it's all right. 你好好努力. So you just try your best. 努力, 努力. Try hard. 你好好努力, try your best. 等你, wait until, 等你 wait you, wait until you. 有出息了，出息，有出息。This is a colloquial way of saying made your mark. Wait until you've made your mark. Wait until you've been successful. 等你有出息了，白大哥 referring to himself. 白大哥brother by me. 跟别人说 to tell other people. With other people, I would say 说咱俩 the two of us 咱俩真熟啊 We are really familiar, close to each other. 熟 means we are friends. We know each other. 真熟啊 So he says, it's all right. You just try your best, try very hard. Wait until you are successful. I will tell everyone that we are close. And then 小贝 says to the accountant, 还有吕先生 Mr. 吕还有吕先生 Good night, 对不起，我不应该说你考不上功名。公民 is success. It refers in the classical Chinese. It means to be able to pass the national exam and to be able to be given a title, to be able to become an official in the Chinese feudal society. So she says, I shouldn't have said that you would never be become an official, be passing the exam and become an important figure. So 还有吕先生 Good night, 对不起，我不应该说你考不上功名。And the accountant says 事实嘛 So it's alright, it's truth anyway. So it's true. So all of these are very colloquial, has some martial arts genre features, but it's also everyday language. For example, 没事儿没事儿 or 我不应该 or 你随便说 just speak your mind 你随便说 or 好好努力 try your best 有出息 made your mark. Now let's move on to type 2 of the use of yinggai as a modal verb. Just to remind ourselves that type 1 has to do with moral obligations, social conventions, that we should do something because that's socially required, morally required. Type 2 has to do with strong predictions, that given the reasoning we are doing, given logical, given what I know, the world should be like this, yinggai. So it has the implication that what I say now is based on what I know. There's logical reasoning behind it. So let's look at a clip from a TV show called 交换空间. It's a home makeover show, kind of ripped after the American show called Changing Spaces. I don't know if you know that. Neighbors gonna swap their houses with the help of designer and a certain budget. They're gonna make over the house and then they're gonna review the house. So in this clip, this girl on the left in red, 穿红色的衣服的 is the neighbor, and the one on the right is the designer. So they are trying to pick out a wallpaper for the house makeover. So let's hear how they say about the color of the wallpaper and how they think the owner of the house gonna like it or not.
用这款的话，应该跟整个风格蛮搭的。
我想女主人应该还是比较喜欢的。
对啊，然后颜色应该也它比较符合啊，
符合她的要求，不符合我的要求。
我比较喜欢艳丽的、
新鲜的。
Okay, so there's quite a few yinggai used in this clip. You know, if you're trying to decide what wallpaper pattern and color for your friend, you would say, she should like this, it works with her style, or she should like this, it works with her, the color of her furniture. So yinggai, there's logical reasoning because of that, so I think. So yinggai gives the idea that this is the case, because given what I know, logical reasoning behind it. So the designer says, 用这款的话，款 it refers to the style. Use this style. 的话 if 的话 marks the conditional sentence. If we use this style, 应该 it should be that 应该跟整个风格蛮搭的，跟 with 整个风格 the whole style 蛮 pretty 搭的 harmonized kind of work together 搭蛮搭的，应该跟整个风格蛮搭的。The neighbor says 我想 I think 女主人 the female master in the house 应该还是 mitigation 还是 pretty much 比较喜欢的 pretty much would like she pretty much would like it 应该还是比较喜欢的 The designer says 然后 and also 颜色 the color 应该也比较符合啊 So the color should also be pretty much, fit. The friend says, 符合她的要求 It suits her need. 不符合我的要求 It doesn't suit my need. And designer understands. 对，你喜欢艳丽的 Yeah, you like bright and flowery. And the friend said, yeah, 对，新鲜的 I like fresh colors, 新鲜的So here is a very typical way of interacting colloquially, informally, using 应该 to refer to your understanding how the world should be based on your knowledge. So let's watch this one more time.
用这款的话，应该跟整个风格蛮搭的。
我想女主人应该还是比较喜欢的。
对啊，然后颜色应该也比较符合啊，
符合她的要求，不符合我的要求。我比较
喜欢艳丽的、
新鲜的。
Okay, so this is 应该 as a logical reasoning. I hope this example illustrates. This concludes our Unit 1 for modal verbs. We learned a bunch of modal verbs, very important, high frequent modal verbs in Mandarin. I hope you can also benefited from looking at authentic examples, looking at how Chinese people interact, how they talk, how they live their lives in these various clips. So the last slide here are the data sources. Some sources credit to the images I used in this slide. A lot of the examples are taken from these two corpus. The Balanced Corpus of Modern Chinese and the Beijing University Department of Chinese Linguistics corpora. So if you are a linguist to be, you may find it interesting to check these out. And if you want to watch some of the video clips, here are some of the links that I used. So 谢谢大家. I hope you're enjoying learning Mandarin as you continue building your advanced proficiency. The next unit will be practice unit. That means instead of I lecturing on things, you will be looking at a lot of exercises. 好的，谢谢大家。